Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ask the Author Friday, date of March the 6th. Yes, March 6th. As always, Ask the Author Friday is my weekly opportunity to have a nice little fireside chat with you all. If you enjoy this or any of my other content, feel free to subscribe. If you have questions for future weeks, make sure to hit the comments. Thanks. Here we go. You are, Ash Wednesday counts as a day. You are 17 days into your Lenten observance. How's it going? I'm messing up bad every day. Part of it is lack of discipline. Part of it is that I set an extremely lofty goal for my Lenten promise of no crosstalk, no vitriol, no gossip, definitely no swearing. No complaining about others when I can simply talk to others. It's an extremely lofty goal. It's very subjective in its definition. It's not lenient at all. I am going to fail, and that is why there is mercy. That is why there is grace. That is why there is confession, and that is why his mercies are new every morning. And if every single year I try to spend 40 days watching how I talk to and about others, it means that I need to change it for the other 325 days of that year as well. That is where I need accountability. That is where I need mercy and grace. And let that mercy and grace begin with how I treat and talk to myself. Anyway, moving on. Bam. How personal do you make the characters in your books? They're my books. Yeah, if it's general fiction, then I go very personal, very autobiographical. If, for instance, the protagonist or the sidekick character feels slightly misunderstood among his peers, slightly misunderstood among the family, or has every reason to feel very misunderstood. I mean, that's general fiction. I can go personal, autobiographical in general fiction. I mean, you turn to fantasy or sci-fi or whatnot. I don't recall slaying any dragons lately or joining up with a team of fellow superhumans or blasting my way through a bunch of android clones lately. So there is some disconnect where fiction just has to be fiction, especially in certain genres. What's a price point on your books? Well, I am still in my self-publishing phase, when I'm even doing that. Um, Amazon does give me a little leeway on pricing the books. For a soft cover that's generally about 200, 250 pages, occasionally it reaches 450. I try to go below 10 if I can, at least cap out at 10 for a soft cover. I've only ever had one hardcover edition of one of my books, and that went through a self-publisher who was not Amazon because I hadn't heard of Kindle direct publishing yet. So I didn't know that I could self-publish at a bargain yet. I think the one hardcover edition of my books that the other company did for me, they set it at 18 for a hardcover. While we're at it, they priced 15 for the soft cover, I think. Maybe it was 13. Sword of Salvation. I'll look it up. But if I were to price these $10 or below for soft cover, depending on the amount of pages, probably let's say an even 15 for a hardcover if I could. You've got stories to put out there, so what's the dream about? Traditional publishing, the Pulitzer Prize one of these days. Netflix Netflix is Hollywood, you know what I mean. Netflix or the cinema comes a courting about one of my book ideas to translate it into film. We're looking beyond the page. What's the dream about? The dream right now, a place of my own to hang my hat in. Enough financial security where I can not only help myself but help the community around me. Right now, better set of lungs. I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. You'll have to excuse me. I don't know what that's been all about for the past 3 weeks. Financial stability, place of my own. A secure job to continue to be financially stable. I gotta circle back to the traditional publishing. I gotta put that back on the page. And then when I can take care of myself. A beautiful woman who will not only be my best friend, but who will reciprocate the attention that I give to her. Someone who I can honor and protect. All right, that got deep. Okay. All right. Moving on. The Legion of Doom is running wild. You're picking 4 members of the Justice League 3 side characters plus a leader must come out of the big 3. Who have you got? Who are you sending in to stop the Legion of Doom? What you gonna do when the Legion of Doom is running wild, brother? Too soon. Still too soon. It will always be too soon for that. Okay. The rank obsession with the number 4 continues. I played a lot of X-Men Legends and X-Men Legends 2 and Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Ultimate Alliance 2 back during the PlayStation 2 days. Going back to the N64 Gauntlet Legends, I think the crew was a 4 top. We were talking about the Justice League. Who am I picking to go up against the Legion of Doom running around outside of the Hall of Doom? Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, Dr. Fate, Martian Manhunter. So who's leading them out of the big 3? You know the big 3: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Lots of love for Batman. Batman will always be my favorite DC superhero, and obviously my favorite member of the Justice League if he's my favorite DC comic. But we're talking about someone who really ought to be leading: Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, Dr. Fate, and the Martian Manhunter. My boy Clark Kent. I'm still not a huge Superman fan, but here we are having this conversation. It's just logical. You can't have a team with one guy with a magic power ring, a sorcerer, and a shape-shifting alien, and who's leading them but a guy with bat devices. Even Hanna-Barbera and even DC Comics has to have logic somewhere. Alright. If only 4 members of the League are going up against the Legion, that means there are only 4 members of the Legion who've left the Hall of Doom. Who are they? Gorilla Grodd was never my favorite DC villain, but he was one of the stronger. Well, yes, physically stronger. But, for personality and for brains and for brute strength, he was one of the stronger personalities for the Legion of Doom. Then you get Brainiac, who's one of my favorite members of the Legion and definitely belongs here. Toyman, I honestly liked the character of Toyman. I mean, like the Riddler, he was just downright whimsical, but it worked. He's involved. Who else is going to lead the Legion of Doom but Lex Luthor? It does bring up the question of who in the world is commandeering the Hall of Doom if Lex Luthor is running around Metropolis, but that's neither here nor there yet. Alright. We're on the home stretch here. We are closing in on the home stretch. In the meantime, yes, I just made the natural transition from anything having to do with writing straight back to pop culture and Saturday morning cartoons. That's me. And speaking of, you've got you have the 4-part GI Joe rescue team to bail out the 4-part GI Joe recon team. In the meantime, the rest of your guys have Zartan and the Dreadnoks cornered in the bayou. Who is that 4-part team? 3 side characters, 1 leader, always. Wow, even the G.I. Joe NES game, the team could only be 3, including the leader. Anyway, we've bottled up Zartan and the Dreadnoks in the bayou. There's 4 G.I. Joes to go up against not only the original 4 Dreadnoks, but the Season 2 characters, plus the Hasbro characters that never even made it on screen. This is getting serious. All right, we got a serious job to do here. Some serious fisticuffs and firefights are coming up. We're sending in gung ho. I mean, he was raised pretty much in the swamps. Muskrat, he's a swamp fighter. He was my very first G.I. Joe figure, and at the age of 4, I could not comprehend why I never saw him on screen, or I could not understand that by now the Sunbow series was in reruns on WGN every evening. But anyway, Gung Ho and Muskrat. Now we're getting... Why is it always the 3rd member that I have a problem with? Because I really want to answer Leatherneck, but you cannot have Leatherneck and Gung Ho on the same mission, just beating up a bunch of motorcycle riding miscreants and almost barbarians. It's not going to work out. Too bad Steelers double booked rescuing the recon team due to his natural knowledge of what a bayou even is. Ew! It's an off joke. It's a standing joke from The Weather Dominator Part 1. It just lands differently if you don't understand it. Airtight's the hostile environment guy. Airtight's going in. And any place crawling with a bunch of cobras is pretty hostile. Besides, we don't need Gung Ho and Leatherneck marching into the swamp, guns blazing. Someone's gonna get hurt. Yeah. Who's leading? Beachhead. Beachhead to lead. Gung Ho for the muscle. Muskrat, because he's a swamp fighter and this is the bayou, so he has the natural understanding of the location. Airtight for hostile environments. A little bit for comic relief, I guess. I mean, he's not exactly bazooka or shipwreck level comic relief, but it's still there. Your obsession with the number 4. I don't know. I mean, even I can't explain this one. This has been Ask the Author Friday. Date of March the 6th. Yes. Excuse me if I flub the date once in a great while. My head's still in a little bit of a fog, and if I can, I record these the night before, as time allows. You guys take care. Have a happy weekend. Again, if you enjoy this or any of my other content, feel free to subscribe. If you have any questions for future weeks, hit the comment section. Thanks. I'll see you guys next week. I gotta figure out what this is all about, too.